Hello everybody, it's Dr. Zaino with 15 Minute Fuel. We're just in 15 minutes a day. We're going to fuel your mind, your body, and your future. Well, as always, we start with the announcements. A couple of announcements. We are on podcasts. We are podcasting now. You can go to Dr. Zaino on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. We're on several others. All the handles when it comes to, iHeart, I think it is. We're on all of those things. So you can get your 15-minute fuel, subscribe there, see Dr. Zaino, make sure you subscribe on SoundCloud, iTunes, all those things, and you'll be able to listen to your 15-minute fuel and catch up during the weekends. Because I decided I'm still going to do it during the weekends, so it's a great way to catch up and do it. We're also debating possibly putting the We Are Heroes on there, just so you can kind of have, because the We Are Heroes, if you think about it, it's music, cool music, with bits of good info in there. So we're debating it, but we'll definitely have a podcast version now. Please enjoy. Also go to the Dr. Zaino fan page to make sure you're, like you guys already got on, you're on for the, to be able to ask any comments and never miss a 15-minute fuel. All right, George, good to see you. If you're on, just say hello. Make sure you hit the share button. Sean, good to see you. Michelle, good to see you. Everybody's there. Hey, Marla, good to see you as well. Thank you so much, guys. We got someone else here. Hey, Veronica, good to see you. Hola, chica. And my wife is on. Awesome. All right, guys, so I'm going to bring, hey, Christy, good to see you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back now, because you saw Dr. Rob yesterday, and that was great that Dr. Rob was on, and just a really good friend of mine. So I'm going to kind of summarize what we did Wednesday. So Wednesday, we were talking about the causes of the secret identity. The causes of the secret identity was the imposed subordinated values, or the imposed agenda of society to make us mediocre, right? So that was basically, we are educated on how to think and what to do versus being taught how to think and how to embrace our true hero that we were created to be. So we're basically been educated to be human doings, which is your secret identity, versus becoming human beings and embracing the hero, which is the hero itself. And it plays a huge havoc and role to society. Seeing over 16,000 patients the last almost 12 years, and answering emails and comments on Facebook and dealing even with other doctors, I've seen depression at such a huge amount. I'm sure if you're watching this, we all felt some type of depression on different ranges, from up to suicidal, to medicated, to disability, to just mild depression, anxiety, fear, worry. And in this country, it's really epidemical, but it's something that we don't want to talk about. It's the secret. 16 million people in 2012 had such a bad case of depression. They not only went disabled, but they were on suicide watch. 350 million people in our country are diagnosed with depression. It's the leading cause of disability, is depression. 78 million people are on antipsychotic medications. And like I always say, the depression is the opposite of expression. So when you're depressed, you're lacking the expression of the true hero that was inside you. So of course you're going to grieve your potential when you're not able to fully express who you are. There's where the torment is, right there. And so that's why when you start expressing yourself and who you're created to be, you'll feel the depression melt away and your hero will start to soar and rise. And then businesses, it affects owners, managers, employees. 88% of employees have lack of pleasure and satisfaction of their job. And managers, 80% lack of pleasure and satisfaction on their job. And this disengagement costs about $500 billion a year to the U.S. in disengagement of our workforce. And so how are we going to take off the secret identity? How are we going to rip off the costumes and really embrace our true hero? So this is what we're going to talk about today. There's three very important parts. Number one, you have to embrace the hero mindset. Now, the hero mindset is basically embracing the mindset of the hero. And what I'm about to talk about, I've talked about it before, and it's very disruptive because we were taught a different way. And I think the way we were taught, the people who taught us honestly they were mistaking the words they used for the truth of what it really is. So the number one thing in the hero mindset you need pride, massive pride. What is pride? It is the sense of pleasure and satisfaction of one's accomplishment. It's the pleasure and satisfaction of an accomplishment you've done with others, such as your family, your friends, or a team. And it's pleasure and satisfaction over a quality that you possess or something that you have in your possession that's widely admired. Now, the definition of hero is to be admired for, right? So admiration has to be there. Therefore, pride is a part of it. And we were told pride was sinful. You'd be a bad person, but it's okay to be able to have that. Even C.S. Lewis, he would talk against pride, but then again, he's like, well, it's okay to be proud of your kids, or proud of something you did, or proud of a gift God gave you. So you can't, make up your mind. So I think a lot of people, they mistaken pride with conceit. Conceit, saying, I'm better than you, I'm over you, I'm above you. No, that's conceitedness. That's not pride. It's having pleasure. Like a father, if I see my son is, happy of something he made or created or talent he has, that makes me feel good. And it makes me feel good not because, because I'm made, number one, I'm a dad made in God's image, but we want nothing else to someone feel accomplished at what they did. All right, here we go. If that pissed you off. Number two, mindset, hero mindset, you need massive ego. Massive pride, massive ego. And ego is one sense of self-esteem and self-importance. Do you feel high self-esteem, or do you know that you're important, that you're created for importance? And I can tell you, I know there's exceptions, I get it, and we could probably point to the one or two exceptions, but this society, and our society, is not, we're not overabundant in people with too much high self-esteem or too much, satisfaction. We already went over that 88% of people are not satisfied or having pleasure at their work. So we're deficient in satisfaction and pleasure in what we do, and we're definitely deficient in self-esteem and self-worth and really self-importance. Like I said before, a mom should feel important. A dad should feel important. You are important at your job. Even if you were number 100 on the rank of your work, you are still extremely important, because what you do matters. So massive pride, massive hero ego, totally against what we were taught. In fact, we were taught pride and ego was sin, you're a bad person. So therefore, most of us, we definitely don't want to be in that category. So not only do we want to go humble, but we swing the pendulum into something called false humility. False humility is actually driving down your self-esteem, driving down your self-importance, and putting you into a martyring position, and it destroys you. It destroys all hero and self-identity when you're in a false humility state. It causes us to shrink, and not able to absorb or even be in gratitude from the things that we have. It causes us to shrink because of possible other people's insecurities. So massive pride, massive ego, and there's a third part to it. It's massive humility. Again, you could have massive pride and massive ego and massive humility. But it's funny, it says, well, humility, one of the definitions is absence of pride. So how can you have pride and humility all at the same time? Because you can. And that is the law that could actually be broken. There's no law that says you can't have all three, because the hero possesses all three. And the reason why the hero can possess all three, because the hero knows that they're not perfect. Like we know we're not perfect. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, I am perfect and I have no flaws, then that's delusional, okay? So, but if you could sit there, a hero embraces their weaknesses. Because watch this, when you know your weaknesses, out of the weakness comes the courage. See, conformity is secret identity. Courage is hero, right? Be admired for what? Courage, contribution, idealized, so it's part of the definition. So weakness gives you courage. Opposite of courage is conformity, that's secret identity. Also, your weakness gives you humility, because you know your weaknesses. But you don't let the weakness, the hero doesn't let the weakness get in the way of their purpose. So that's what that humility in there, you could have pride, massive ego, and humility to be able to get everything done. Because heroes are not perfectionists, they're potentialists. Meaning that a potentialist is someone that, you're not looking for perfection, you're looking to do the best you can with what you got in the time you have it. And that's all you could ask for. And you go out and you do it anyway. And being self-aware of your weaknesses, you could have this pride, this ego, but that self-awareness of the weaknesses really allows all those three things to exist. And that is the hero mindset. Second thing you want to do is you need to embrace the mindset. Second thing you need to maximize your superpowers. One of the purposes of the hero is to discover your unique talents and gifts that God placed inside you. It's to discover it. Then the work of the hero, the work of the hero's life, is to then develop them. Make them greater, stronger, perfect them, develop them strong. You're taking raw talent and making it the best you can. And then the life or the life mission of the hero is to then to be able to take those gifts that are now developed and to be able to go out and give them in abundance to the world for the benefit of others. So how do we find our superpowers? Well, if you're sitting here, right off the bat, when I ask someone, well, what is it that you're good at, or what do you want to do, this automated response comes out of most people, and it sounds like this: I don't know. And I'm telling you, you do know. See, the I don't know, if you ever said I don't know dealing with your purpose, it is a survival mechanism of your secret identity trying to keep you conformed and not to move on. Because just like any animal, when it's about to die, it will fight for its life. So the I don't know, you need to tell yourself, you need to choose to know and choose to remember. Because I don't know, like, what are you going to do for your life? I don't know. Well, how's that going to work out? You do know. Just understand it's your survival. It's survival mechanism of the secret identity. Because if the secret identity, if you find out what you want to do in your purpose and what you're good at, your secret identity is going to die, and it doesn't want to do that, right? So you know what it is. So here's a couple things. What do you do that you could do all the time? What do you do when you're not at work that you want to all do all the time? Number two, that whole thing, if I gave you $50 million, 4 months from now, what would you do for free? After you went on the vacations, $50 million, what would you do for free? Three, when you do it, when you do this thing, what is the thing that you do that you have way more energy by the time you're done with it than when you first started? What do people ask you advice on? There it is. Start developing that superpower. That's your talent, that's your gift. Right? So now we embrace the mindset, we maximize our superpowers. Number three, choose your vehicle for influence. Every hero has one. Batman has the what? Batmobile. Wonder Woman had the what? Well, you can't see it. You wouldn't see it. It's the invisible jet. It just went by. Right? Superman had what? He flew. Iron Man had what? He had the suit. So every hero has a vehicle. So choose your vehicle of influence. Your vehicle of influence could be one of the many. Speaking, one-to-one or one-to-many. Video, like we're doing here, or video wherever else to get your message across. Then you have writing. Some of you are great writers. That could be journaling, writing papers, writing articles, writing blogs, writing books. And for some of you guys, you're great vocally, podcast, radio, whatever that is. You find those different things. Social media could also be a platform where you could do a little bit of everything. Reading, writing, you name it. So you're like, well, how do I know which one I'm good at? You'll probably know which one you gravitate towards, but you owe it to yourself to get good at all of them. Right? All of them. So get good at all those different things and give it a fair shot. Then you're going to see the one or two that rises to the top. And then when it rises to the top, you go all in on those one or two and delegate the rest out. So with these, look what we did, right? So I do the 15-minute fuels. They can be easily dictated into writing, into a book. We easily could pull the audio so they could be put in a podcast. So I could stay in my media, which is video and speaking. So that's how it works. So find that superhero vehicle. So when you embrace your mindset, break the hero mindset, when you maximize your superpowers, and now when you find your vehicle of influence, now you could fully express and be into what I call 100% hero mode. Hero mode. And the best way I could describe that or explain that is a story of a little boy. So here's a little boy, and he was getting ready for karate class. And he was 3 years old. And then there's something called a ki. And a ki, it's the sound you make, but it means joint energy. When they go ki like that. And so he was in there, and the ki sounded like the word the. It had no power whatsoever. It was just kind of going through the motions. And at 3 years old, at 4 years old, at 5 years old, at 6 years old, nothing. It was just like no power. It was really similar to the cub, like a little cub lion. Little cub lion is born, and what's the lion do? Meow. It doesn't have any power. It doesn't know it's a lion yet, right? And so as the years are going by, they're in class, and one time they're in class, and there's a two-way mirror, and all the parents are guiding around, they're in practice, and all of a sudden, in karate, instead of going the unpowerful ki, all of a sudden, it sounds like a roar of a lion, ki, like that, and it shakes the whole room. And all the parents stop and look over. And then when he looks at me, I look at her, I'm like, who is that? And it's Justice. So in the moment, something switched. What switched? In that moment, he realized after 4 years or 5 years of hard work, out of practicing, he realized he started to believe in himself and have just enough pride and just enough ego, meaning that just enough satisfaction, just enough pleasure, just enough self-esteem, and just enough self-abhorrence to say, I am, this is me, I am the hero. And the key I is the lion's roar. You can't fake it. So what changed in a second? He believed in himself. He believed in his hero. And that was the day. That's the day where a cub roars like a lion. And the day the cub roars like a lion is the day the cub becomes the lion. And there's nothing wrong with cubs, but there sure as hell ain't lions. And so in that moment, something shifted. He looked entirely different. Then he embraced his superpowers. He starts practicing to develop his skills. We didn't even have to tell him, practicing for hours and hours and hours. And then he wants to teach other kids. So that's his vehicle of influence, and wants to do videos now. You see him do videos. So he embraced the mindset. He had the pride, the ego. He embraced the I am worthy, I am hero. He roared like the lion. Shift. Now develop the skills. Help others. Help the kids. Start doing videos. And that resulted into becoming a champion. Going to Vegas 2 years in a row and coming back with plaques that say #1 on it. Because he made the shift to become a lion. And if you ever had the opportunity to hear a lion's roar, when a lion roars, the sound goes through your body because it's a sound of the king of the jungle, basically. It's power, it's pride, it's hero. And and through these series, I could take you guys through the entire solution, and I could help you find and make you aware that you were born, the hero was always inside you. I can make you aware of that. I could show you how to develop your superpowers and your strengths. I could do all that for you. I could guide you that way. And I could get you to the edge of the cliff with your toes hanging off. But that's as far as I could take it, because the final transformation comes down to one person, and that's you. You have to make that decision. Because I cannot tell you to just go and to be the hero. You have to literally believe it with every cell in your heart. You need to get to the point. My goal and my purpose for you in this next act of my life is that you could get to the point, or I could leave a blueprint for you, so you could give yourself permission to embrace the I am. The I am worthy, the I am hero. People ask, like, why don't you put I am a hero? Because it's not I am a hero. Hero is a state of consciousness. It's like a lion's roar. The lion's roar says it all, right? You don't have to explain it. You feel it. You're there. It's part of you. So hero is a state of consciousness. That's why it's I am hero. It's like I am the being of, I'm God person. I am the hero consciousness. I am who I was created to be. And the good news is this. Heroes don't wear capes anymore, and they don't wear flashy costumes. They look like you, and they look like me. Justice found his hero. The lion roared to find his hero, and I found my hero. But now it's your turn. You have to decide and make a choice. Are you going to choose to sit and stay into your secret identity? Or are you going to choose to embrace the hero you were always created to be able to go out and serve the world that has been looking and praying for you? Have an amazing day. We'll see you soon at 15 Minute Fuel.